This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author of the book Redefining Anxiety, is my co-host today as we talk to you about mental health, about relationships, about money, about life right here on The Ramsey Show. Dustin's going to start us off this hour in Kansas City. Hi, Dustin. How are you?
Good. How about you guys?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Hey, so I haven't done any drastic decisions, but I know we all hate timeshares. And I just kind of wanted to get your opinion on Disney's timeshare, because I know that one's a little different than the average timeshare.
It just sucks less.
Right.
What? Hey, this is just two guys talking. Forget that there's a couple million people listening. What are you doing, man? Why are you calling this show?
Well, I always go to Dave for advice. I talked to him a couple months ago. My father-in-law has been trying to get me to get into DVC. Disney Vacation Club, and I always want to run my thoughts by Dave before I do anything.
Oh, you're awesome. Yeah. Okay.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. I like that.
Very kind of you. Disney is the best of the worst, but this is not a spectrum I even want to live on.
Yeah.
So if you want to go to Disney, it's wonderful. Just go down there and rent you a hotel, and you don't need to be putting your money into timeshares. Timeshare is a legalized fraud. And again, the Disney plan is the best plan of all of them, but they all suck. This just sucks less. And I appreciate your father-in-law. He obviously thinks it's not, but he's wrong. And my father-in-law's tried to talk me into doing a couple things too that I still love my father-in-law, but I didn't do those things.
Yeah. When you say he's pressuring you, what is that like? Paint me a picture of that.
I don't want to say he's pressure. I mean, he's been in since '94.
Okay.
And, he's gone every year, so it's paid out for him in his opinion.
Yeah.
He just, the last couple of years, he's always brought it up in conversation, and my wife and I have always brought it up in conversation. So, we're just sitting around talking about it while we were in Disney last week. And, I got to thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, I actually thought you called and you were making a joke. This is a heartfelt call, and I apologize for making a joke. I thought you were playing with us. I'm with Dave. I think all of our father-in-laws want the best for us, and they have a picture of what the best is, and they encourage us either loudly or subversively. But yeah, you got to go with what's right.
Yeah. My father-in-law's daughter that's married to me doesn't vote like him.
Oh yeah,
and neither do I.
Has he tried to convince you?
Of course.
Yes,
but we gave up on that many years ago, and we just decided that we're going to be friends anyway, even though he's wrong.
Which is
it's just. But I have lots of friends that are wrong, so they vote the wrong way. But so it's the same kind of thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing: the bottom line of Disney or anything else, when you're buying a timeshare, you're buying air. You do not have ownership. You're basically prepaying for a hotel room for 30 years.
Do you have a 10-second? What's the difference between a Disney one and everyone else? Like, why would somebody say that?
Disney is one of the only ones, I think it may be the only one that I've ever actually witnessed you being able to sell it.
Okay.
There's enough of a market for them that you can actually sell them.
Gotcha.
You can't give the other ones away.
Yeah.
Much less sell them. You can't. They're all over eBay for $1.
Wow.
And so they lose 100% of their value. Now Disney does not lose 100% of its value, but so you actually have an exit.
Okay.
You actually can sell the thing and exit if you wanted to on a Disney one. And that's simply because it's Disney, and they've just created such a strong market for their horrible timeshares.
Right.
But they're just not as horrible as the others. And the numbers are better. I mean, what you pay for what you get, and it all works out better. But especially given that there's an actual ability to probably a market for you to sell it in later. But if you just run the numbers out and just say, okay, I very few people, like almost no one, does what your father-in-law has done, which goes every year
for 30
to
years.
Disney.
Right.
We go every year somewhere for a lot of years, but very seldom is it the same place, over and over and over. It's one of the problems with buying a vacation home.
Right.
Is you trap yourself into that same location again and again and again and again. You better love it, and I just, I think he's wanting you to live his dream.
Yeah.
And it made him happy, and he wants that for you, but that doesn't mean it's a wise purchase. So, good question. All right, Brian is in Baltimore. Hey, Brian, what's up?
How you doing?
Good, man. How can we help?
Very good. Well, I'm a registered nurse at a small community hospital in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And right now the trend is to go agency to make 2, 3, 4 times as much money.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really trying to figure out, stay with the, stable, reliable jobs in Baltimore, or take the chance and potentially travel for more money.
Mm-hmm. What is the downside of traveling for more money?
Instability. Whether or not the jobs
single
are
or
available.
Married?
Married, 3 kids.
Okay. So time away from family would be a downside.
It would be the same time either way. 3 12-hour shifts.
You don't see them anyway when you're doing 312s.
Not really. I miss bedtime on the way home.
Yeah. So you would go to another city, do 312s, and then have 4 days off.
Potentially. There are local contracts available.
Okay.
So when you say instability, I don't see an end of nursing coming anytime soon. What instability are you afraid of?
Well, with my full-time job, I know what I'm doing from January to December. With the agency world, you take 13-week contracts, and you don't know if you have a job at the end of that 13 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Have you ever met somebody who didn't have a job at the end of a contract?
Yes, one of my friends just recently had her contract terminated.
Okay.
And then she was able to pick up another job, but it took 2 weeks to get it.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, unless okay, let me start with this. The premise that I operate on, and it has served me well, and I teach it to other folks to operate on it, is security is not based on your employer. Security is based on your ability to take the skills and education that you have into the marketplace and earn a living. Your security comes from you, not from your employer. It's paycheck is a false security. And if you've ever run a company and you had to make payroll, you'd know how false it is, because a lot of these places are scrambling to make payroll. So in your case, your security is based on the fact that you're in nursing, and there's always been a shortage of nursing as long as I can remember. And there's always been a place you can land as long as I can remember. So unless there's a real reason to not take triple the money, I'm going to go take triple the money for a while, give this a run, and work some 312s and hit some financial goals. And if that becomes untenable, then go hunt you a quote-unquote stable. I wouldn't use the word secure, but I would use the word stable, past 13 weeks, regular job. But I'm going to give it a run. If you're not using Pure Talk for your wireless, you're paying too much. Pure Talk gives you the same great 5G coverage on the same 5G network as one of the big guys for half the cost. The average family saves over $800 a year. Go to puretalk.com and choose the affordable plan that's right for you. With their 30-day risk-free guarantee, you have nothing to lose. Go to puretalk.com and enter the promo code Ramsey to save 50% off your first month. Thanks for joining us. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. This is The Ramsey Show. Brendan is with us in Cleveland, Ohio. Hi, Brendan. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I am working on baby step number 2, and between my Christmas bonus from work and my 2 child tax credits and income taxes coming up, I'll have about $16,000 all at once, like within 30 days.
Wow.
My question is, should I use that to pay off my car, which is my most expensive debt, because it is $16,000, or pay my 2 lowest, normally do, but they also total $16,000, and that would only save me about half per month. So the total of the 2 lowest that I could pay off with that would be about $200 a month, where my car is $490 a month.
So you have $32,000 in debt. You're getting ready to have $16,000. Which do I pay off? What is your household income?
It's hard to say because I get most of it through travel. I work a very irregular job.
What did you pay taxes?
Around
what did you pay taxes
90,000.
on in 2021?
$90,000.
Okay. All right. And so how fast are you going to pay off $16,000 left over, making $90,000?
Well, I haven't. The other wrench that gets thrown into it is I go to school on the side. My GI Bill pays as well. So when I start school back up at the beginning of the year, I'll have more income as well. So it'll be quicker. Or I will have more income, and it'll be a lot easier to pay stuff off.
Either way, regardless of your 2 options, you're going to have $16,000 laying there with a $90,000 income. How fast are you going to pay the $16,000?
I mean, as soon as it comes in.
No, honey. I mean the second $16,000.
Oh, probably within 9 months to a year.
Yeah. How about 6 months?
That would be better.
Okay. So if you're going to pay it off in 6 months, it doesn't matter which one you pay off first, because it's all going to be gone in 6 months. And your question seems to indicate that the math is going to cause you to get out of debt faster, and neither set of math is going to cause you to get out of debt faster. What's going to get you out of debt is you're leaning in on the debt. You make $90,000 a year, and you're going to have only $16,000 left after all this, so you're going to do it. So having said all of that, I'm going to pay off my car last. I'm going to work the debt snowball, okay, smallest to largest, pay off the first 2, and then I want you to pay that car off by June.
I want that $450 a month to haunt you.
Yeah.
Just let it.
It already does.
Let it just come after you like a neighborhood dog and drive you crazy.
A neighborhood dog?
I don't know. I was trying to sound tough. I'm not very tough today. Man, I was trying to flex a little bit. Dave's like, really?
Most of my neighborhood dogs are friendly. We got rid of the other ones.
We live in different neighborhoods, Dave. We live in different neighborhoods.
No, I mean, yeah, the neighborhood I grew up in, we didn't put up with that stuff. Nick's in Hartford, Connecticut. Hey, Nick, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are both of you?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So I am 26. I'm making $60,000 a year. I really want to go to law school. That's what I've always wanted to do. And with the good school that's in my city, I can just cash flow myself in the evenings. But I do still have undergraduate student loan debt of $100,000, and I don't know timing-wise if I should take a few years to first pay that off and then do the law school, or do it now and let those go in deferment. And on one hand, obviously, I want to get out of debt.
I'd set them in deferment and knock law. I'd set them in deferment and cash flow law school.
Okay.
But only if you promise and swear and whatever other blood oath you can take that you will not take out a penny of debt for law school.
Oh, not. I'm a finance degree. I work in a hedge fund right now, and
I know, but you have $100,000 in student loan debt, so you've done it once.
I've been kind of deprogrammed since then.
Okay, then if you will commit to remaining deprogrammed, then yes, the temptation in law school will be, hey, why don't you just go ahead and study? Why don't you slow down a little bit? Here's some student aid. I've been there. The temptations are real. If you can promise that, then knock it out and then be done.
Yeah, it's okay to push pause and finish. Just don't continue to do harm, to John's point. And it wouldn't hurt to go the other direction a little bit and start to begin to pay down while you're in law school, while you're cash flowing. But cash flowing law school debt-free is job 1. Job 2 is start to reduce the debt. Ellen's with us in Chicago. Hi, Ellen. How are you?
Doing good. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. I am having a problem. 2021 nor 2020 has been very kind to me, even though we are just on the edge. I hate to say the edge because it's going to be probably another year of paying off debt. My aunt passed away last month, and she left me as the beneficiary of one of her insurance policies. And when the dust settles, I should say, once we get all the paperwork straightened out and I get everything, it looks like I've got $3,000 coming in. And the temptation, what I know what I should do, everything should go on our debt that's left. You know, it's not going to pay off the debt by far, but it's another $3,000 that we are getting ahead. The problem is there's all these things in my mind going, we know there's this shiny thing. And I know I have mental issues. I know I have problems with impulse. This is an ongoing thing. I've got medical treatment. Medicine. I've got an antidepressant, I should say. I'm seeing a counselor weekly on this.
Are you married?
You know, because yes, I'm married.
Okay.
It sounds like, can I say something that's going to be hard to hear?
Yes, John.
It sounds like you're planning for failure, and I want you to plan for success. And it's easy to plan for failure when you feel like you have failed yourself over and over and over again. You feel like that?
Yeah.
I can feel this.
Yeah.
I can hear the shame through the phone. I want you to let that go and set that down. It's nonsense. You're here. And the beautiful thing about being right here is you can own what happened in the past, and now you can say, starting today. And if you plan for success, you're going to stumble along the way because you're practicing a new way of living. You're practicing a new way of thinking. You're practicing a new way of being in a relationship with yourself and other people, but you're practicing it. And just like LeBron James will take 1,000 shots today at practice and he'll miss a chunk of them just so he can hit more shots in the game, I want you to practice it. And I want you to start by saying, I'm going to put this $3,000. I'm going to honor my aunt because I'm the kind of woman who honors her family members and their stewardship of their money. I'm going to put on debt. It's the right place for it to go. And then you may have to set up a roadblock or two. You may have to make sure it deposits into an account that you don't have access to, or give up your ATM card for a season, your debit card for a season, whatever that looks like. But set up a roadblock or two for yourself.
Yeah, a good way to do that is get people you love in your life and say to your husband, I want you to hold my hand so that I write the check and it goes to debt. And I want you to walk with me and help me do this. And he can't. He can't say, "Oh no, honey, it's yours. You do whatever." No, I need your help. I need you to walk with me and give me the strength to do the smart thing.
Yeah, exactly. I
think you can do it, Ellen.
We've paid off $100,000 so far. Over $100,000 so far.
I take back what I just said. I know you can do it. I know you can.
Yeah.
You know what else? You know what else indicates that you can? That you called here.
You called here. Yeah.
I mean, somebody who wouldn't have called here. But you called here. You just wanted us to remind you that you can do it.
Ellen,
and that's our job. We remind people of stuff they already know.
That's right. Ellen, I want you this weekend, I want you to get an hour by yourself or 2 hours, and I want you to write your aunt a letter. Tell her how much you love her, how much you're grateful for her, and how much you're going to miss her. And tell her what you're going to do with that money. That money's going to go to continuing to pay off your debt so that you and your husband can be free.
If you're ready to get out there and find a job you love, then you need to hear this. Job hunting can be stressful and time-consuming, but my friends at ZipRecruiter have made the whole job search way easier. ZipRecruiter is rated the #1 job site in the U.S. by G2, and it's free. So how does it work? First, go to ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Then create a free profile and let their technology do the hard work by finding and sending you jobs that are a great fit. And get this, ZipRecruiter pitches your profile to companies whose jobs match your skills and experience. If someone from that company likes your profile, they can personally invite you to apply for the job. So if you're ready for an easier job search, check out ZipRecruiter. Sign up for free right now at ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Ken. Sign up today, absolutely free, and let ZipRecruiter work for you.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Next week on December 22nd, we will do our last live show of the year, meaning that between the 22nd and the 2nd of January, you'll get best ofs, which are actually better than when we're here. That's why we call them best ofs. But so be sure you tune in. But anyway, our tradition around here is on that last day, on this case December 22nd, we do our annual giving show to encourage generosity, to promote a lifestyle of generosity. To give is better than to receive. The most fun you'll ever have with money is giving. If you've been the recipient of outrageous generosity, someone gave you something that changed your life, or you were able to do something for someone and it just made you cry, it was so fun. I want to hear those stories because America wants to hear those stories. Now, I know if you were the giver, you feel like you're not supposed to brag, but I want you to brag because God did it. You didn't do it. He just did it through you. Shut up. We still want to hear your story, but call us and make us cry. So the giving show. If you have a giving or receiving story that is not $30 left as a tip. I'm talking something where you just something real happened, okay? Big or cool or fun.
That's Kelly. She comes running in. She's
something.
like, guess what I did, guys? Guess what I did?
Yeah.
Give a $10 tip. We're like, way to go, Kelly.
Way to go, Kelly. That's better than... All right. So what you do is you go to RamseySolutions.com/ask. RamseySolutions.com/ask. Put giving in the subject line. Kelly will get back to you, and you can share your generosity story on the giving show on December the 22nd. And we need some good stories. You guys call in with those, or write in with those today. RamseySolutions.com/ask. Put giving in the subject line. Martin is in Dayton, Ohio. Hi, Martin. How are you?
I am fine. How are you, David?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Well, I inherited a property, not myself, but my wife is the only child of her parents' property. We lost one of them in July of 19 and the second one in December of 20.
Wow.
We learned that there is a mortgage against the property, and right now that we were told there's a moratorium for the COVID because my father-in-law passed away of COVID. But we're concerned of trying to take on the back payments and all that on the property and how best way to handle it. So you're on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, sorry about your loss.
Thank you.
Hard for your wife. How long you guys been married?
Yes. Over 30 years.
Yeah, so these are like your parents too then.
Yes. She, as far as that goes, my mother and father-in-law were like second parents to me. They always treated me well.
Yeah.
Felt loved the whole time. No disrespect, no nothing. We always just got along. We even traveled together.
Wow.
Whoa.
That's cool.
With my mother-in-law and her in-laws, we had a massive wreck out west on a convention trip that I won, but we won't go into that.
Yeah, okay.
And they were all in the motorhome with us.
So this house has a lot of emotion in it, is the point.
Yes. I don't believe my wife we really want to live there. We have a home very similar to it, a few blocks away.
Yeah, but just selling it is hard.
Oh, yes.
Mathematically, financially, that's what you should do. You should sell it.
Sell it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the chances of you having reverse engineered this and said, hey, I want to buy a house that has a bunch of back payments on it and get in there and fix it up and rent it, is about zero. You weren't looking for this. It landed in your lap.
Right.
And the other thing I'll go ahead and tell you, not mathematically, but emotionally, it represents the past, not the future.
True.
And if you
True,
want,
true.
if you want something that is a keepsake, it's not a piece of real estate.
Okay.
It's her Bible, or a piece of her jewelry, or his old truck, even. You know,
understand.
But it's not a piece of real estate, and so your picture of the future doesn't have this house in it. But it's also smart to say out loud that you're going to cry when you sell it.
Oh, no doubt about that at all. It does need some upbeat. They've lived there over 40 years, and so I looked at that possibility of fixing it up and renting it, and having the income from that. But it's going to be all on me. I don't believe my wife really wants to spend too much time there.
Right.
Yeah.
So backing out of this, were you planning on getting into the rental home property business?
Well, with it being so close, yes.
No. Before this happened.
Right, before it happened.
Oh, before this happened? No.
Because if what you're trying to do is make the best of a hard situation, right? How can I best honor this memory? And here's the thing I could do with it. What I don't want an inheritance to turn into is a job, a second job for you that you weren't planning on. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if you did the math on the real estate, on the rental property versus you just selling it, how many months would that of just cash would they hand you in a check? If you just said, I'm not even going to fix it up, I'm just going to go sell this thing as is, and we are going to have a neat celebration with the money and the proceeds, and we're going to do something with that money that's going to honor the legacy of my in-laws, my wife's parents, and then we're going to go from there.
Yeah, give yourself a little bit of emotional room, but by this time next year, that house needs to be gone.
Yeah.
Give yourself a little wiggle room. You don't have to rush. There's nothing on fire. But there's nothing driving this, except at some point they're going to foreclose if you don't make up the back payments. But that may push you to do it sooner. But I if I'm you, I'm going to go ahead and start my estate sale planning after the first of the year and get the thing cleaned out, get it swept out, get on RamseySolutions.com, find our real estate ELP, have them come over and start planning it. And when the grass gets green, let's try to get that thing on the market and take advantage of this up real estate market and see what you can do by doing very minimal work to it, as minimal as you can. Don't make this your new hobby. But it is fair to say out loud this process is going to be hard because it's a part of the grieving of the loss of her parents, because now there's the loss of the house, and that kind of makes it like final.
There's a finality to it, yeah.
And it's just it's his personal finance. It goes with the territory. So good question. All right, Micah's in Cincinnati. Hey, Micah, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hi, John. How you guys doing?
Great, man. What's up?
Well, so I'm a relatively new listener, and my wife and I are on baby step 2. We're getting out of that debt, and I was wondering, I've got a vehicle for myself and for my wife. I actually live in Jamestown. I'm like an hour from Cincinnati, so it needs to be reliable, and hers as well. She's got long travels, too. But I still owe 10 on my truck, and we owe about 20 on her car. And I also have an ATV that we owe way too much, like $10,000 on. So I was wondering if it would be worth downsizing any of those 3 vehicles, or because they are doing well for us and they are reliable and all used, would I be worth just holding on to at least the car and the truck and maybe selling the 4-wheeler?
What's your household income?
Base between the two of us is around $150,000.
And you make more than that. What's your household income?
As long as our overtime is open, which COVID's been screwing up, I can probably come in around $175,000.
Okay. Well, none of this is out of line. Yeah. Even the ATV's not out of line. But, what you do have to do is you're going to have to get really serious about cleaning up $40,000 worth of debt while you make $175,000. This is just financial laziness. that you make that kind of money and have this debt laying around. Am I wrong?
Well, we just got our jobs within a significant raise. We were on my income of $43,000.
Oh, then I withdraw my insult. Okay,
that's okay. No,
I withdraw my insult. So what I would do is I would say, I'm going to get really, really serious, as if I had to buy a $40,000 item to save my child's life. Like, I'm going all in here, like crazy, totally focused. And I'm going to knock this debt out really fast and keep all these items. Well, a couple of days ago, I shared a big announcement with you guys, and it's almost sold out. We are having a big event here in Nashville called Wealth Building for 2022. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and I will be speaking. It is a large live event, Thursday, January the 13th. Tickets are on sale, and there's about just a handful left. So if you want to go, and you want to learn about wealth building, and building wealth's a big hot topic right now. Everybody's trying to figure out how to be a millionaire. Everybody's trying to figure out how to get rich quick. Everybody's talking about one thing, building wealth, building wealth, building wealth. And so we're going to talk with you about it and teach you how to really build wealth. January the 13th here in Nashville. It's a one-night special event. Tickets are just $15. You can go to RamseySolutions.com/events, get yours. I would suggest the moment you hear this that you jump on the website and do it, because you will just have a few moments left. The tickets there's just a handful left, and they're going to be gone. I'll probably announce a sellout tomorrow. So, go ahead and get your tickets now. January 13th, me, Rachel Cruz, George Camel, speaking, teaching you on wealth building for 2022 at RamseySolutions.com/events. Seth is with us. Seth's in Los Angeles. Hi, Seth. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Let me just first off, start by saying that I really appreciate, all the information I've been able to gain just from watching your videos from the past couple of weeks. And I've been, you really do give an inspiring stance when it comes to finances and stuff. And, as embarrassing as my situation is, or I feel like it is, I thought that you would be the best person to help in this regard.
Well, thank you.
Basically, what I've been going through is, and just give you a little bit of background, I'm the only one who works in my household. It's me and my wife, newly married. We just hit our 1-year anniversary on Sunday. And basically what I have is a auto loan, one of our biggest bills, that's just causing me a lot of headache. I've had it, previously, before I got engaged and I got married. And, as a single person, this car was, just right for me. It was something I liked. It was, I'll be honest, it was a little bit fancy, or at least flashy in my opinion. And I really do enjoy the car, but as of now, being married and a little bit more mature, the car itself, and just everything that's bringing with it isn't something that I can maintain anymore. So my question is, is it a good idea to kind of give the car up, or is that just something I'm kind of rushing into just as a last minute option, or I need some information on that kind of.
By give it up, do you mean a voluntary repossession?
Yeah, exactly.
How much do you owe on the car?
So as of now, I called in and I owe roughly around $22,000 for the car.
Have you looked up what it's worth?
Yeah, I looked up what it's worth. Just recently this weekend, we took it over to a couple of places, CarMax, Toyota, just a couple other places, just to try to get, a sense of what people or what they would give us for the the car. And so right now the consensus is that, $13,000 is, the amount that people would give just because of all the problems it has with it. It has a check engine light. And I mean, it's an Audi, so it's a really nice car, but it's luxury and the parts are expensive.
How old are you?
24.
Okay. Well, the car market is unbelievably hot right now. Did you have a car before that you owed more on than it was worth, that you were upside down and you rolled the negative equity into this deal?
I did, but it was under my parents' name.
But you rolled negative equity into this deal?
No. And with this deal...
Okay, so this car, what year is this car?
It's a 2015.
Okay, and what'd you pay for it?
Oh, it was a while ago. I believe out the door it was like 26 to 28, somewhere like that.
How do you still owe
I'm
22?
not buying the 13. The 13's a bad number.
Yeah.
You're getting snookered.
Yeah, yeah. I feel the same way. Honestly, when I took it to CarMax, they just said it had, because of the engine light, has a ding or a scratch, towards the rear of it as well, and there are some underlying problems with it, I guess, that they had inspected, and that's the number that they came and gave me. And from
underlying problems or what?
Well, so far from what I know, when I start the car, it starts to, stutter and stuff like that. And I recently had to replace,
what do you make a year?
Work on my car. I make roughly, like 4,100 gross.
Do you have a baby?
A month. No.
Why's your wife not work?
She got hurt a couple years back, and that's a whole other situation. But basically, her right shoulder is, a bit of a nuisance to her, and it's constantly coming out of the socket. It's a long story, but she's basically unable to work her job.
Well, a physical job probably, but she could get a job.
Oh no, 100%. I mean that is something that because
you guys need money.
Into.
So okay,
yeah.
Here's what's going on. Okay, you're looking, and it's human nature, and I do it too. So I'm not picking on you, but you're looking for the easy way out, and the voluntary repo is not the easy way out. And 13K is absurd on this car. There's something wrong with this story. So what I would do is take it to a mechanic and pay to have it fixed. And if that costs you $500, good. Spend the $500. Get it fixed. Get the check engine light off, get the stuttering going away, then all you got's a scratch. And then the car's suddenly magically going to be worth $20,000. And then you're $2,000 in the hole. You go down to the credit union, you borrow the $2,000 and you sell the car.
Yeah.
Because if they take this car and sell it, they're going to sell it for $8,000 on the repo lot, and they're going to sue you for the difference in 22 and 8, known as 14. You lose control of the price when you give it to them that it sells for. Therefore, you are going to dramatically increase the amount you owe that you're in the hole. So what I'm trying to do here is to work you out of this hole. I mean, you might even be able to sell it for what you owe on it if you fix it. Go get it fixed and sell it. But don't give it back to them. Because you give it back to them, you're going to have a $14,000 lawsuit on your hands where they come after you and sue you for the difference on this, and then you're going to be calling me up, how do I settle a deficit on a car repo? And you got a car repo on your credit. And your wife needs to go get a job so that we've got money to fix all this stuff.
And I want to tell you, your entire disposition, it may just be how you roll through life, just kind of a low-key guy. As Dave said, it sounds like you're looking for what's the least painful way to get out of debt? And I'm kind of thinking about this, and maybe if I just... You got to run, dude. You got to say we're done with this life, and we're going to be finished with it. And, okay, I can't work on my shoulder. I'm going to get a job with health insurance so I can have surgery. I'm going to get a job selling stuff from home. We're gonna have to fix this thing. And it sounds like y'all have some marriage challenges. That's a whole other conversation you said. It sounds like you got some mental health stuff going on, some physical stuff going on. It's all this, it's just going to be this way next month and the month after that and the month after that until somebody says no more.
Seth, there's an old book called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People that was perennial bestseller. It was a bestseller month after month, year after year after year by Stephen Covey. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Habit number 1, they are proactive. They happen to things instead of things happening to them. And that's what John's describing for you. That you need to get in that mode where I'm going to happen to this car thing. I'm going to happen to these things. There's things here you can control. And if you control the controllables, you're going to end up with a better life.
Real fast, too.
Yeah. Like
get after it.
Yesterday. Right now.
Get after it.
Light it on fire, baby. Let's just see it burn. Not the car. Your life.
Don't burn the car, Steven.
That is not what I said. This is the Ramsey Show. Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. Thank you for joining us, America. We're glad you're here. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, best-selling author, is my co-host. It is a free call, 888-825-5225. We'll talk about mental health, relationships, money. These are the things he and I talk about. And sometimes we talk about the thing that the other one knows something about. April is with us in Bismarck, North Dakota. Hi, April. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Okay. I love this show. I listen to it a lot. I drive many hours a week, and I love your no-nonsense talk about money.
Thank you.
I'm an entrepreneur, and I have been in business for about 11 years, and I have no debt, no mortgage, no car payments, no student loans, anything like that.
You're awesome.
Yeah. And my husband and I, over the course of the last, however long we've been professionals, we have invested about $850,000 between Roth 401ks, various different investment platforms.
So you're millionaires. Way to go, baby step millionaire.
I know. Well, and so I have joined your crowd kind of late in the ball game, and I think about how much quicker we probably could have achieved this had I been more disciplined with finances over the years. But
it's okay, you did it.
Yeah. So I'm kind of at the point. So my husband has actually stayed at home with our children for the last 4 years. They're all in school now, and so I kind of feel like we're in this midlife crisis where we're kind of thinking about the next step. And I'm in healthcare, and I've the way the healthcare world has gone over the last couple of years, I'm contemplating a career change. And basically, my question for you is I'm I feel like we've laid this really great platform, and I don't want to screw it up, but I also feel like taking, chances and risks. And I've thought about, do I sell my business? And I've thought about going into a different type of business that's more family-based and other things that we're passionate about. I've kind of been the career path person for the last 11 years. And
sounds like you can afford to do it. What's your question?
So my question is that how I'm not sure how to make this step as far as right now we have a generous income and things like that, and business valuations. I don't even know the resources to adapt to any of these things, or like how to make these steps and changes. And, you know, I've heard about
Valuing
it.
a business that you own now?
Correct.
Okay.
Like, I'm trying to figure out how to, like, do the transition, like selling, like business selling or hanging on to something as, like, a holder in it. I just don't even know, like, financially how to make such a big leap because you're in such a comfortable position. And then...
Well, if you sold it, why would you be in an uncomfortable position?
Well, as I said, and maybe I'm asking, like, do you have resources when it comes to things like this as far as, like...
I don't know what you're asking still.
Yeah.
I think I was hoping that you would just tell me what to do. Like,
well, I don't even know what you're... I mean, I'll be happy to give you an opinion because I'm an expert on my opinion. But so you have a business that you're thinking of selling.
Yes.
Okay. And you're worried that if you sell it, that you're not going to be okay, but you're already okay. So how would you be not okay? Because the income would go away?
Yeah, or I guess, like, you know, when I don't even know who to contact in regards to, like, what type of financial people guide you through, like, selling a business. Like, who evaluates your business or how much it's worth.
Okay, I can give you an idea on how to value it. We can work on that for a minute. And there are business brokers that sell it. What does your business do?
We're in outpatient rehab.
Okay, and how many employees do you have?
9.
None.
9.
9?
9.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right. And what was the net profit of the business the last 3 years? Taxable.
Taxable. Okay, so I know gross revenue off the top of my head, and as far as, like, what I took home, my draw, I guess, would be what you're asking.
No, I need your profit. Unless you took all the profit home. Is that what you did?
No, I didn't take all the profit home, but I was just, like, trying to review my taxes and, like, you know, how they all look at the bottom line. It looks like you don't make a lot of money.
Okay.
Through, like, exemptions and things.
You may not make a lot of money. You may own your job. Okay, so let me help you with this. You're going to have to go back and do this later because we're not going to be able to do it now. Here's how you do it. You need to figure out what the net profit of the business is, period. And if that net profit includes you having received zero income, and that net profit is your only income from the business, then you would say, what does it take to hire someone for this business to do what I do? So let's use an example. Let's say you find your net profit is $100,000, and you say, I think I could hire a manager to do what I do for $70,000. That means the net profit after you were paid your salary for your market rate for what you do is $30,000. The value of the business is about 4 or 5 times the net profit after all the employees have been paid, including the person that replaces you. Okay, so that's the real net profit. Because if I'm going to buy this business, I'm not going to run it, and I'm not going to be working in it, and I'm going to put X number of dollars in it, and how many dollars is it going to give me back? And if I want a 25% return on my investment, it's worth 4 times that. If I want a 20% return on my investment, it's worth 5 times that. So in our situation there, we have a $30,000 net profit in this explanation, or our example, then that business would be worth $120,000 to $150,000, somewhere in there. That would be the value of it. If the business is not profitable and it owns a bunch of things, book value is the value of closing it and selling off all of those things. Some businesses are worth more that way than they are trying to sell the profit because there's not much profit, but they have a bunch of inventory and they own a bunch of things. So you close it and sell it off for book value. But you need to determine all of those kinds of things, and a business broker can walk you through that and help you get the business up for sale. You typically will sell it to a supplier or a competitor, someone that's already familiar with you, is your best leads on selling a small business. If the business only pays you what it takes to hire a manager, it is not profitable. You made 0. You just own your job. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're considering a career in technology, I recommend Bethel Tech, and I'm not alone. Here's what Brendan said. Before Bethel Tech, I was driving Uber. Within 4 months of graduating, I got a job paying $60,000. About 2 years after that, I got a remote job that pays me $130,000, all thanks to what I learned at Bethel Tech. You could be next. Get started today at BethelTech.net and get $1,000 to $2,500 off of your tuition. Again, it's BethelTech.net/Ken Coleman.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Okay, Christmas, 10 days away. Wow, I got here fast. Wouldn't it be good to get a boost this time of year? That's what our Ramsey Christmas Cash giveaway is all about. This year's giveaway is almost over. This is your last week to enter for a chance to win the grand prize of $5,000, no purchase necessary. Got to be 18. RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. RamseySolutions.com/giveaway. Register early and often. And for an extra dose of motivation, just in time for the new year, we're having our famous $10 sale, and that means you can shop over 40 of our best-selling books. Envelope systems, all for just $10 or less. Get number one bestsellers like The Total Money Makeover, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, Redefining Anxiety, all $10 each. $10 books could be your biggest investment, your best investment. Make 2022 your best wealth-building year ever. Shop the $10 sale before it ends. RamseySolutions.com. Chad's with us in Minneapolis. Hi, Chad. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Thanks for having me on.
Sure.
So, quick rundown. 35, no debt in the world. I've got a $110,000 rental that's paid off with a positive cash flow. I've got $85,000 sitting in a money market, and I'm growing that. I'm just continually adding to that about $4,000 a month. Already maxing out 15% into Roth. So I am currently living rent-free in a house provided by my company. I don't know if ever that situation is going to change, whether that's going to be 12 months, 24 months, 5 years, 10 years down the road. But if it ever did end, I'd probably slide down into my paid-off rental. So my question is, should I look to do something other than keeping that $85,000 that's continuously growing in that money market, or do something else with it?
Well,
should I invest? Should I put that in?
It should be invested. I mean, beyond your emergency fund, it should be invested in something. It sounds like a good situation. Man, you've done a great job.
Yeah.
It sounds like a good situation for you to just continually save up and buy more rental property with cash.
Right.
So when that account gets big enough to buy a rental property, go buy one.
Right. The biggest thing is ideally I wouldn't want to live in the rental. I mean, it's a nice little house. It's very nice, but it's pretty small for what I would want for myself and my family.
Sure.
But and that would be sort of a stopgap. If they called me today and said you need to be out by Friday, I'd say, oh crap, and move to the rental because I build in.
What do you do for a living?
They can't do that, but what?
Well, they could if it's employment furnished housing. What do you do for a living?
I work for a mining company, so it's a house that just happens to be within our tract of owned land, and it's sort of just a fringe benefit of me working there. But if for some reason something were to happen to the company, or we sell off to a competitor or something like that,
someday that's not going to be there, but you'll probably get more than 30 days notice. It would be would be unusual just as a courtesy, but yeah, employee benefit. They can call you up and go, "Hey, sold the place. You need to move in a month," and so then you'd have to do something, and then you'd have to say, "All right, which of these rental properties do I want to liquidate?" Let's say by then you own 4 of them, and you say, "Okay, I'm going to put 2 of them up for sale, and we're going to take the money from that and buy us a house." And it might take longer than 30 days, so you might be in one of the other rentals living for a while, or in an apartment for 6 months or something while you make the transition out. If you want to keep it more liquid, you could just go to mutual funds with it, and then you can get the money in 4 days out of your mutual funds. But you sound like a real estate guy to me.
Well, no, I like it. I in hindsight, I wish I would have gone back over the last 18 months and not sold some properties that I had.
Yeah.
Just because of what's happened with the market. But the biggest thing is, if I wanted to not live in that,
you would sell it and use the money to buy your house, or sell 2 of them.
Right, but with that 85 am I missing out on the market by not having it?
If you want to put it in mutual funds until you add enough to it to go get a house or another rental house with it, you can. That's what I do. And I just use an S&P 500 index fund because there's no commissions on it. And if it stays in there longer than a year, when you do pull it out, whatever gains you've got to be on capital gains rate at 15%, not on ordinary income. So that's what I do. I throw extra cash in an S&P 500 until I've got enough to buy another piece of real estate.
Okay.
But I'm more real estate than I am mutual funds. I've got a lot of both, but I got more real estate. And so I just use it that way, and that way I don't have it just sitting and checking, which just makes me sick, right? I mean, you need to get it working for you. But interesting situation. And by the way, you have done a really, really good job.
Absolutely. I've lived in several of those situations where, like, just as dean of students, you got to be at the school in the middle of the night, and so that your position comes with
on-campus
provided housing. Well, or it's a house adjacent to the community. And sometimes it's a year, let's start here. But I've always circled back and said, hey, we've done this for 12 months, for 24 months. Can I get a year lease here? Can we do this at some sort of... So I have a guarantee, and y'all have a guarantee. And they've done it every time.
Doesn't sneak up on you.
Right. So it may be worth going back and...
Just say, I need this in writing that I got this a year at a time.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad idea. It would give you a little more stability than them just walking in the middle of the night and going, we sold the mine.
Right.
Right. Remember that time Mom and Daddy lost the house when they sold the mine? You don't want that. All right, let's see here. Emmanuel is with us in Odessa, Texas. Hey, Emmanuel, how are you?
Hi, how are you today?
Great, man. What's up?
So I had a question. I wanted to get your thoughts on a whole life insurance. I've got a term life. Oh, whoa.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Damn it. So I've got a term life insurance for my family and I, my wife and 3 kids. Actually, just 2 of them on the term life. Anyway, they paid about $111 a month. And it's time for me to transition. I'm eligible to transition some of that into whole life.
No.
So the numbers they gave me were like pretty scary, right?
Yeah,
$200. And it's like the benefit of it that I'm really looking for, Dave, are the borrowing feature, but that's not until about 7 or 8 years down the line of its life.
Wait a minute. Let's just stop for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So whole life, did you notice it's 20 times more expensive?
It's super expensive, yes.
No, it's 20 times more.
20, I didn't figure that
It's a nickel on the dollar. So for a nickel, you can buy as much term insurance as the dollar costs you. It's 20x. So that other 95 cents is going into a savings account called cash value. So when you borrow money that you put into a savings account, do you often borrow your own money?
I have never.
At interest?
And pay them interest to borrow your own money.
Isn't that nice of you?
I know. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. Well, don't figure it out. Run. Go get term insurance. Call XanderInsurance.com. Get a quote from them. Get the proper amount of term insurance. It's 1/20th as expensive. Never do investing with life insurance people. Always do investing with investing people.
Right. Yeah.
Don't buy your mufflers at the brake shop.
And put your own cash in an account and borrow from yourself for no interest. That's the nicest thing you can do for you.
I like me, so I'm going to borrow my own money and pay myself interest.
What a scam that is.
Pay them interest to borrow your money after you. It is a scam.
We're going to take your money. We're going to make up.
They're so slick that they make it sound sophisticated.
Yeah.
Well, this is a great product because after you've had it all these years, you will be able to borrow your cash value out
from yourself.
Tax-free. It's tax-free. By the way, 100% of borrowed money is tax-free. Anywhere you borrow money, it's tax-free. Like this is some kind of sophisticated butt something.
You
it's
guys
not.
should be ashamed of yourself.
It's awful. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the Ramsey Solutions lobby on the debt-free stage. George and Sharon are with us. Hey, guys, how are you?
Better than we deserve.
I love it. Look at you two in unison. Well, Merry Christmas to you. Where do you live?
We live in Statham, Georgia, which is 8 miles west of Athens, Georgia. UGA country.
Beautiful country. Beautiful mountains, huh?
No mountains.
You're down at the foot of the mountains. Okay.
Yeah, we're well down the foot of mountains.
Okay. All right. I got confused, but I know where you are. All right. Generally. So, welcome. So, how much debt have you paid off?
$62,000.
Very good. And how long did that take?
About 2.5 years.
Good for you. And your range of income during that time?
During 2020, it was running about $94,000, and then in 2020. 2021, it was running about $91,000.
Okay, cool. What do y'all do for a living?
Well, I'm retired. Mm-hmm. I retired 3 weeks ago.
Hey, congratulations.
Hey, way to go.
What did you do for a living?
Well, for 20 years, I did lawn service.
Okay.
And then I contracted throat cancer, which meant I had to give up my business because I spent a year trying to stay alive.
What'd you retire from? The lawn business?
No.
Okay.
No, actually, my daughter works at a dealership in Duluth, Georgia, and she got me a job as a lowly porter.
I like the way he says that. That's great.
But
Sharon, what do you do?
Well, I'm office manager for the Georgia Department of Natural Resources.
Awesomeness. Very cool. What kind of debt was the $62,000?
Well, $48,000 was the house. She had 2 credit cards with $8,000. I had one with $3,000, and then we had a dental emergency, which threw in another $3,000.
All right.
So altogether, we came out to $62,000.
And you paid off the house and everything.
Everything.
I'm looking at weird people.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we didn't do the baby step 2 properly. We went ahead and paid the house off.
Did the whole thing. Just knock it out while we're at it. Well, you didn't know a lot on it, so that's good. What's the house worth?
Right now, about $225,000.
Way to go, you guys. How's it feel to have no payments in the whole world?
It feels wonderful, and I'm thrilled to be here.
And I'm thrilled to be retired.
Oh, my goodness. So what started this journey 2.5, 3 years ago that made you say, we're going to get out of debt?
Well, 5 years ago, she got the book, Money Makeover. But she didn't quite get into it then, and I wasn't aware of it that much at that point. Then, while I was recuperating from my throat cancer, I was watching YouTube, and you're on YouTube.
I've heard that.
Yeah. And I started listening and thinking, well, we can do something like that if I ever get a job. And finally, I did get a job, and then we started working on having the first step done. We had our $1,000, which came in handy a number of times.
I bet.
But then, around September of 2019, we said, let's really do this because we need to retire.
And Sharon says, finally.
Well, every day at work, I brought my lunch and I would sit in my office and turn you on YouTube, and I'd listen to you, and I'd listen to these debt-free screams, and I could just feel the freedom in it, and I'm thinking, we're going to do this. This is my dream.
I love it.
So who finally had the courage to sit down across from the other one and say, it's time? Let's do this.
Well,
Actually,
it was pretty much mutual.
Yeah.
I started pretty much trying to get rid of the credit card debt that I had incurred. And then she started getting on board, seeing that we were. Oh, by the way, I got to say, the steps, the small one, then the next, then the next. That's so encouraging. Once you get that first one paid off, it's like, wow, we did it. And then we started throwing money at the second one. Wow, and then it just went right into the house.
How long y'all been married?
8 years.
8 years. Way to go. And the first time you've been debt-free, I assume, during the 8 years.
Yes.
I've already gone through 2 bankruptcies in my life.
Goodness.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. Well, you guys are incredible. I'm so proud of you.
And we're so thankful for you. We wouldn't have learned all this, but we listened to you, and we learned a lot from you.
Well, we're honored. You're why we're here. You guys are heroes. You took control of your life and enabled George to retire. That's good.
I'm going to retire this coming year.
Good. You should.
I
like
started
it.
when I was 16. So.
Whoa. Well, it's time. Yeah. You got a little built up there.
So what do you say to somebody who says, I'm too old?
It's too late for me.
It's too late for me. This is the way this is.
You're never too old. We started in our old age, but I wished I had known earlier so I could have become a millionaire. But, I trust God, and I know He could do anything.
Amen.
Yeah, hey, I don't doubt you're going to be millionaires yet.
We might.
I don't doubt it a bit. So, well, congratulations. What do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is now that you paid off $62,000 house and everything in 2.5 years?
Well, you said it yourself. Never give up.
Start with the smallest debt, pay it off, go to the next one, pay it off, and the next one, and you just get so encouraged.
Yeah,
but we also encourage them to reach out and have Jesus get into their hearts, sir.
Amen. Well done, you guys. Very well done. Well, we've got a copy of the book Baby Steps Millionaires for you. That's our prescription for you. That's the next chapter in your story. The book comes out January the 11th, but you're going to get an advance copy in just a few minutes when we take our commercial break here. Also give you a copy of the Total Money Makeover you can give away to somebody and get their journey started. You guys are an inspiration. You're inspiring people. You're heroes. Thank you so much for being who you are and for sharing your story.
Well, thank you, Dave. Without you, it wouldn't have been possible.
Oh, I didn't do it. You did it. So, who was your biggest encourager outside the two of you?
Actually, just the two of us.
Just the two of us,
So
yeah.
you didn't talk. You didn't have anybody like in your corner out there yelling.
Well, they just looked at us. We said something. They just,
kind of looked at you like you lost your mind.
Yeah,
but now your house is paid for.
Yes.
You have a payment in the world.
No
That's
payments.
Right. You're so
Vehicles are paid for. We have an old camper. It's paid for.
I love it.
Hey, George, before we do the debt-free scream, you said something and it rang true from your heart. You've been through 2 bankruptcies. You've fought and survived cancer. The phrase "never gives up" means something special to you, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. Actually, this year, I got diagnosed with prostate cancer. And it was diagnosed early enough that compared to my throat cancer, it was a cakewalk to get treated.
Never give up.
Never give up.
Never give up. Thanks for sharing that, brother.
You're welcome.
That's an inspiration for me personally. Thank you.
It's important. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Don't quit. Love it. Love it. Love it. George and Sharon, Athens, Georgia. $62,000 paid off in 2.5 years, making 94 to 91. House and everything, 100% debt free. They're weird. Count it down. Let's hear a debt free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt free!
Oh, fun. Whoop, 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 whoop. I love it.
How cool are they, man?
Very well done. They're very cool. They're very cool. They might be the coolest people we have watching YouTube.
I assure you they are,
Yeah, because there's some 19-year-olds watching YouTube that are nowhere near as cool as George.
No.
They don't even know what cool is like Georgia knows.
Oh,
that's
so
pretty cool. And Sharon for sure.
Man.
They're rocking this. They're rocking this. It's beautiful. That's fabulous, man.
The number of people in our current society, our current culture, who run up against something hard and just throw their hands up and say, I quit. Somebody bail me out. Somebody come, because it's too hard. And then to see somebody like George.
Never quit.
Never quit. Just keep getting back up, man.
So what's my answer to throat cancer? As soon as I get well, I'm getting a job and get out of debt.
That's right. So I can retire. I ain't dying. I'm retiring.
Ding, ding. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Zach is in Las Vegas. Hey, Zach, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, thanks, Dave. God bless.
God bless you, sir. What's up?
How are you?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Yeah, so my easy, straightforward question is, should I continue to max out my 401k? Should I not do that and use the disposable income to save for down payment for a home, which I kind of already have almost, or dedicate 100% of all of my earned income to paying off my debt? So the context is I'm 37 years old. My employed salary is $75,000. I have $26,000 in credit card debt. $13,000 of that debt is 0% until May 2022, and $7,500 of it is 0% until November of 2022. I have a $425 a month car payment, but that's 0%. I'm renting, and that's about it.
How much do you have in savings?
About $8,000.
$8,000? And how much do you owe on your car?
23, give or take.
Okay.
23,000.
Okay. All right. Well, Lucas, here's the thing. Maxing out your 401k, being debt-free, and buying a house are all three excellent goals. But you know how you eat an elephant. You know how you eat an elephant, a bite at a time. If you try to do three things at once, none of them are going to get done.
Mm-hmm.
So years ago, doing what I do, I started coaching people, and I started doing it myself to say, I've got to focus all of my efforts on one thing, and then the next thing, and then the next thing. And that focus allowed me to actually accomplish the goals rather than dilute my efforts by spreading them so thin that nothing got done. And we call that process that now millions of families have gone through the baby steps.
Sure.
Baby step one is $1,000. Baby step 2 is to become debt-free, everything but the house. 3 is save an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. After you have that done is when you would save the down payment for a house, and then you would start baby step 4, which is 15% of your income going into retirement. You, sir, have a major debt mess. And because it's all 0%, you think it's intelligent. It's not. You have made a mess. You owe $50,000 on crap, and you don't even know what all of it is, but you're all walking around like it's 0%, and that doesn't matter a bit. You have a mess. So what you've got to do is take $7,000 of your $8,000 applied to your smallest $7,000 worth of credit cards, because those will be your smallest debts. List all of your debts, smallest to largest, pay minimum payments on everything but the little one, attack the little one with a vengeance, work your way through these debts as fast as you can, probably going to take you 18 months to 2 years, and then you're going to build your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. So if you had $20,000 sitting in a bank account and no payments at all and started saving for your house down payment, you would be wise.
Sure. Yeah, I've already in the past, since April of 2019, I've paid off $26,000, and I mean, I did take your course way back. My parents kind of put me through it, and I was zero credit card debt. I had zero debt, period. Like 800 credit score, everything. But I was in my late 20s, and I was looking around at my elders who, had good 401ks and great money, but they worked at a company for 20 years. So when I had relatively zero responsibilities, I, did the risky thing and went and pursued my dreams, and I'll never regret it because, God definitely built my character as a man. That's the man I am today. But now I do have this mess. And so I know that the debt snowballed, but I guess I kind of wanted just a little bit more feedback on your perspective regarding.
It sounded like you wanted to be an exception, that you're a special guy, that your debt was a little bit different because it was 0%, and you have this other idea.
No, car debt didn't make you a man.
Yeah.
No, debt's debt, but it's more of like, so if I'm maxing out my 401k, as I am now, like I'm putting 25% of my paycheck in, and my discretionary income after my expenses every month is $600, and so I have that to play with. If I stop contributing to my 401k, except for 4%, which is the company match.
What do you do for a living?
I'm an architectural photographer.
Okay, Zach, you're broke and deeply in debt.
Yeah, you're broke, brother.
This is what your plan brought you to, and so I wouldn't use your plan anymore. Your plan sucks.
Yeah, you're broke, man.
You need a new plan, and our plan is proven and it works. You can choose. You get to do that. You're 37 and you're a man. You can decide what you want to do. But you called here to ask what we would tell you to do. And the law of gravity is the law of gravity. Find a proven process and attach yourself to it. It's called in business best practices. We find out something that's working and we emulate it, copy it, steal the idea, whatever you want to call it. And I want you to steal these ideas. I want you to work this baby steps exactly as you were taught in Financial Peace University. And if you want to do something else, that's fine. But you called here.
Yeah. I want to press on him a second. He was trying to make this a math problem. And I think one of the fundamental misses sometimes, it is ultimately a math problem, is that it's a psychology issue too. And there should be some discomfort. I want you to get out of this thing. And it's like, well, it's $100 here, and we can do. Then you wake up and you're 37, and you're making a great salary, and you have negative nothing to show for it.
Right.
There's a lot of photographers who don't make $75,000. He must be good at what he does, but he can't see the forest for the trees here, man.
Yeah. You're trying to. Here's the thing. You can't fix stupid with math. And personal finance is 80% behavior. It's only 20% head knowledge. The stuff that make people, the principles and the processes that makes people wealthy are very simple to understand, but they involve controlling yourself.
We just heard in the last debt-free scream, paying off that smallest one gave us some momentum to get the next one. They gave us it's about setting your insides on fire. And I think you said it like, brother, you're broke. You're broke. You owe $50,000, man.
And you make 75. I mean, that's not a good ratio.
No.
That should scare you.
Yes.
Instead of going, well, it's 0% and 7,500 is 0% and 70% May of 22. Shut up. You're broke.
And if an architect firm is going to have to do layoffs before they start cutting the principal architects. They're going to cut the full salary photographer that makes $75,000. The security you think you have isn't so secure, brother. Be debt free, man.
Yeah, it's worth it. So, but this is a decision making process that people have to go through, and so it's years ago I hired a trainer to come to my house and to, try to get the belly off of me again, and try to do something, try to get myself in shape, and it would be like I go down there, I've got a keg, he's got a 6-pack, right? And he goes, well, this is what you need to do. And I go, well, I kind of think I had this other plan. And he goes, sit your butt in the floor and do sit-ups. Shut up.
But, okay, I can see your body, but listen, I have this other idea.
I mean, it's like, yeah, you're going to have to quit eating 73 donuts. Yeah, well, I think I can do the donuts as long as I do the workout.
How about you slow down, trainer?
And then I found the whole thing is nutrition's almost the whole stinking thing. You cannot run a Big Mac.
No.
You cannot run enough miles to eat 2 Big Macs.
Baby. That's right. That's right.
Oh my gosh. Just decide who you're going to listen to. The guy with the keg or the guy with the 6-pack. This is the Ramsey Show.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. Did you know The Ramsey Show is one of the most popular podcasts in the world? Subscribe or follow today wherever you listen to podcasts.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story. Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studios, it's The Ramsey Show. Where debt is dumb, cash is king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW as the status symbol of choice. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host, Dr. John Baloney. I almost said it. Deloney. I did say it. It came out of my mouth.
Well, America, this is my last day on the show.
Well, it's why you're that sensitive? You're going to quit?
No, we've been worried that you're senile, and it's happening. It's happening.
Hey, who says you can't be a leader if you're senile?
That's true. I see what you did there too. Well done. Well done. Hey, listen, my name rhymes with the processed lunch meat. It was a rough childhood. Thanks for bringing that up, Dave.
I know. Well, it's what drove you to be a counselor. Our weaknesses are it's what made you a man, my son.
Rave Ramsey and John Baloney here to take your calls.
There you go. It's going downhill, and we haven't even gotten to the phone number. 888-825-5225. Merry Christmas, America. We're glad you're here. Apparently we're not, but we're going to answer your questions anyway. Lucas is here in Tri-Cities, Washington. Hi, Lucas. How are you?
How you doing, Dave? John? Hey, I got a question for you. I need your advice. My family's grown, and my wife, she's looking for a bigger house, and we currently own 3. One's paid off. We owe about $200,000 between the other 2. And so I'm just looking for some advice and direction on whether keeping property, selling one, or I don't know. That's what I'm calling.
So you want to sell one? Why?
Well, I don't want to sell one. I need a bigger one. My family's outgrown the one that we're in.
Oh, I see.
And
you said your wife wants one. Do you want one too?
Yeah, happy wife, happy life. So,
well, okay.
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, so we're moving up in house. Your current residence will sell for how much?
Right now, around $300,000.
And the house you're going to buy would cost how much?
Well, if she gets her way, probably $650,000. somewhere in that price range.
At some point, we have to make a wise decision together rather than just making a princess happy. So what are we going to do here? Let's be a grown man and a grown woman. What price range of home are we actually going to buy?
Let's go on the high side, $650,000.
All right. So you need $350,000 more than your house.
Yes.
Where are we going to get that?
That's kind of what I'm looking for advice on.
Do you have $350,000 in an investment that is not retirement?
Almost, yes. That we own a house and it's paid off and it's worth about $325,000.
Okay, so would you rather sell it and your personal residence, or sell your investments and your personal residence to pay cash for $650,000? Those are your two choices.
Well, I guess selling the paid off one, that's what the wife wants to do. And, the market where we're at as far as renting, our initial idea was to have a house for each one of our kids for school. And then, when they get old enough, that's going to pay for the school. But right now, I don't know if that's possible with wanting a bigger house. So I guess selling the one that's paid off.
How many square feet do you live in?
About 1,750.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
What ages?
1, 3, and 7.
Okay. You have a zoo.
Yeah, you're in it now.
Yeah, you are in it to win it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, a little more space would make a little more sanity. I agree with that.
And see, I have
what do you make a year?
Houses. I'm around $100,000.
Okay. Does she work outside the home?
She does.
Okay. All right. So I want you to reframe this conversation. I don't like the way the conversation is being answered every time I ask a question. Okay.
I don't either.
For the sake of your relationship and your sanity. Okay. Proverbs says, "Who can find a virtuous wife? A virtuous wife. For her worth is far above rubies. The heart of her husband safely trusts her, and he will have no lack of gain." So there is tremendous wisdom in your wife as a grown woman, not as a princess with a red face stamping her foot that she wants something, but your wife as a grown woman and you connecting and saying, we decided that with a $100,000 income and 3 littles, we want to move to a $575,000 house. That is our budget. We are not going to go over that. We are going to liquidate our home and the investments to pay cash for that. That leaves us with 1 rental home, which means our next goal will be to buy 2 more rental homes because we had a goal of 1 rental home per kid to pay for their college. Or something like that, that we together develop a plan that gives our family a better standard of living square footage-wise, but is not you responding to, well, my wife wants to sell this, my wife wants to do this, and my wife wants to do that. I'm getting tired of hearing what your wife wants.
Exactly. Take ownership.
Sure, I understand. Yeah, she just started working as a teacher as well, so
sure.
She's got an income pretty close to mine as well.
That's awesome. So you got a $200,000 a year income. You can accomplish some of these goals. But my point is not that her opinion doesn't matter. It's that it does matter, and so does yours. And you don't get the privilege of blaming her for these decisions you don't agree with and you go along with.
Or worse, you do want to do these things. It just sounds cool to be with a couple of dudes at the water cooler talking about the old ladies at it again. No, man, we want to get a bigger house.
Well, so she wants to sell. I don't. I want to look at to where, because there's an age gap between us, I want to be able to retire when I can retire. But
the cost is you live in 1,700 square feet with 3 littles, and it's driving everybody nuts.
I know.
That's the cost.
You got to change your picture, brother. You had an awesome goal, and then life threw something at you, and now it's time to change goals, man.
Yeah. What your $200,000 household income paying cash for a $575,000 house is not a bad place to be.
It's better than most.
Yeah.
And still owning another rental that's paid for, and you have no payments in the freaking world at that point, and you guys can pile up some cash and buy some other rentals and do some other stuff. So yeah, it's just a different picture. So nothing's ever going to work out exactly like we always thought it was going to when we were 20.
Yeah.
Because we didn't understand stuff when we were 20. Oh, when we were 30. Oh, when we were 40. Oh, when you're 60.
Right.
Nothing ever comes exactly like you think it's going to, but you have to learn to navigate this together and use the wisdom. To opposites attract, and Larry Burkett used to say, if opposites, a good thing opposites attract, because if you weren't opposite, one of you be unnecessary. So you need each other to complete the picture of wisdom, and lean in on that.
Still on baby step number 1, eh?
How'd you guess? With healthcare costs rising, learn how Christian Healthcare Ministries can help you make the most out of your budget. Visit chministries.org/budget.
Don't worry, it's worth it.
Monday, I shared a big announcement with you guys. We have a huge event on Thursday, January the 13th here in Nashville called Building Wealth in 2022. Tickets are almost gone. We started selling Monday. They're almost sold out. And we're going to have 1,000+ people there. They're almost gone. Building wealth is the hot topic right now. Everybody wants to be a millionaire. Too many people trying to get rich quick. Nothing down real estate. All the stuff is going on out there. Everybody's talking about building wealth. And guess what? We know how. So we're going to teach you how. Some of you have done this. Some of you are baby steps millionaires. Some of you are on your way. Some of you are confused. Some of you are in Financial Peace University. Some of you have a crazy brother. Oh, that's all of you. And some of you need to get started and you're going to miss out. Go January the 13th here in Nashville. Join us for a one-night special event. Rachel Cruz, George Camel, Dave Ramsey, Building Wealth in 2022. Whole $15 for tickets. There's just a handful left. Probably my last announcement before I announce a sellout right now. RamseySolutions.com/events to get your tickets. It's game on. January 13th. Let's kick this 2022 thing out. Let's get it going. Our question of the day is from Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings, free samples, free shipping, and new promos all the time. Always use the magic word, the promo code RAMSEY, to get the best possible deal.
Today's question comes from Kirk in Virginia. Kirk says, my wife says we can... that's not really a complete sentence. My wife says we feel we can enjoy things in life, such as taking our son to Disney World, because she knows... My wife says we can't enjoy things in life, such as taking our son to Disney World, because she knows I'll be grumpy about it later or bring up how much money it cost. We're on baby step 3 and have no debt except for mortgage and about $60,000 in savings. How do I try and not be so anxious about spending the money we have? I hate seeing the number disappear from our accounts, but don't want my life to feel like we can't enjoy milestones. Dave, can I tell you something? I struggle with this too. I wrestle with this. Man, I had a hard conversation with my son recently about this same thing. You've been working with couples for 30 years, man. What have you seen when it comes to this?
Well, I mean,
it's living in scarcity. But it's a
saver mentality, not a spender mentality.
Yeah.
He enjoys saving money more than he enjoys spending it.
Yeah.
And the spender enjoys the experience, enjoys spending it more than they enjoy saving it.
Yeah.
And a balanced, mature approach is that we have the ability to do both and get joy from them, but we just know our default, our natural tendency is to move towards one or the other. I'm a spender.
Yeah.
So by nature, it's not hard for me to move, even today, to enjoy money. But the only way I enjoy money now is knowing that I've done my work over here. It's like I had to, I had to get my homework done before I could go out to play, kind of thing. And but in the old days, I just went out to play, and the homework didn't get done. That's called immaturity. Right. And so you spend money, you don't have anything saved. So then the opposite of that is this person who's a little bit more scarcity. Savers generally are more scarcity versus abundance. Spenders have a tendency to be more abundance versus scarcity. It's not always true, but it's pretty much. Rachel's book, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, she goes into a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I think you just saying it out loud right there is a big thing.
It's huge.
That kind of starts to set you free, and you go, okay, why is it I'm saving money?
There you go.
Is it only for security? No. Your intellect will tell you that's not the only reason. Now, your emotions might tell you that's the only reason, but I'm saving money so that.
Yeah, it comes down to the so that's for what?
Yeah,
right.
yeah, and we all know in our intellect, some of us are more emotional about it than others, but we all know in our intellect that that 4-year-old, when you blink, they'll be 14. So you better do Disney while you can.
Yeah.
You don't get a second go-round on that puppy because you can. Now, you don't get to go use that same line as an excuse to go into credit card debt to go to Disney because you're broke and you're out of control. No, you owe that kid stability at home, so you got to do your work first. You do your homework before you go out to play. Right. But now you got your homework done.
Yeah.
Don't sit there and read a book. Go out and play. And so you've got to force yourself to do that. And part of it is if you look at the money and you say the money that's left after we do this is more than enough, we're fine.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the facts or your friends, almost your trauma stuff where you guys deal with trauma and you say, well, I'm afraid the emotions are making the decision and facts are my friends. I got plenty of money.
I got money. Yeah.
So I can do both, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
Notify yourself that you're okay.
James Clear writes about changing habits, and I love the way he framed it. I've never heard it framed this way, which is if you want to change your habits, the best way to do that long term is to change your identity first. And this is an identity call out that his wife makes here, that it's almost not worth doing things as a family because of who you're going to be later.
Yeah.
And as a dad, this rings true. My wife calls it Sunday afternoon dad. She's like, it just kind of becomes, everybody just back up a little bit because dad's he's tired from getting up at church and he's ready for work tomorrow. I don't want to be that. I want to be like, I would rather my kids, when they're 18, remember Sunday afternoons were such chaos and fun and we never knew what was going to happen because dad was bonkers versus you don't get around dad. So this to me starts with, I don't want to be known as the grumpy dad every time we did something joyful.
With money.
Because
that says to my kids, I value the money more than I do time with them.
That's right. And I think
if I'm pouting about it,
if I'm being ugly about it, if I am rolling my eyes that my wife and kids want to have joy in their life. And so I think I want to say, okay, I'm going to be the dad who loves spending time with my family, and let's reverse engineer that. What's the money going to be that it's going to take for us to go on these vacations and feel safe?
Yeah,
I love that.
Here's the thing you do for people you love, your kids, your spouse. Sometimes you do stuff they want to do.
A lot of times you do. Yes.
And you're not a twerp about it.
Yes. Find joy in them having joy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, I like people, but I don't like social settings at all.
Right.
At all. But my wife completely eats that stuff with a spoon. But this idea of standing around with a drink in your hand and you go, what do you do? Shoot me. Oh, God, I just would rather be in the basement. I'd rather be in the basement, reorganizing the dirt. I mean, something, God almighty. But I had to to make a conscious decision to not be in constant eye roll mode and just go, this is something that gives her life.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to go and not steal her joy every time we go to a party. And then in return, I found out I don't have to go to all the parties. Too.
Right.
I get a payback for it, but I didn't even know that was coming. But yeah, I had to make that decision relationally.
Yeah.
And I still kind of, as you can tell, frequently have to remake that decision. But
when you get a new Corvette, I bet you say, sure, and you go for a ride. And she goes, sure, Dave, I'd love to. You know what I mean? And she grits her teeth through the ride. You know what I mean? I think that's part of being a great husband, a great spouse, a great parent, is leaning in, and part of the joy being, Hank and I went hunting this weekend. I would have had a better outcome had I been not with a 10-year-old in the woods. Or an 11-year-old.
Because they're known for how quiet they are.
How quiet they are. But I wouldn't have traded that weekend for anything.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll talk about this weekend. It was pretty chaotic. We'll talk about that for the rest of our lives. And so it's making those types of trades. And in this situation, Kirk, you got the money, brother?
The good news about Kirk is he's so self-aware.
Oh, yeah. He asked the question.
His wife didn't write this. He wrote it.
Yes.
Great man.
Start with identity. I want to be a dad who loves being with my kids and my wife, and I love having fun with them.
Yeah.
Now, what does that look? What do I have to do to make that identity happen?
And I'm going to allocate a portion of the money that I know is going to make me a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm going to overcome that discomfort to still have joy. Love it. If you're looking for ways to update your home without blowing the budget, I've got it. For years, I've been telling you about our friends at Blinds.com. Blinds.com makes it simple to shop top quality blinds, shades, and interior shutters from home with easy online ordering and free shipping. With Blinds.com, there's no need to renovate your entire home. Just change out what's on your windows with upscale choices like faux wood blinds, cellular, and roller shades, or even outdoor shades. Plus, Blinds.com guarantees the perfect fit, whether you do it yourself or you have them measure and install everything for you. Shop their latest looks and see how much you can save at Blinds.com today. The easy and affordable way to make your home more beautiful is Blinds.com. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions on the debt-free stage. Erica is with us. Hi, Erica. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Good. How are you?
Welcome. I'm better than I deserve. Where do you live?
I live in Fowler, California.
What's that near?
Fresno.
Oh, yeah. Good. Mm-hmm. Okay. Beautiful area. Welcome to Nashville. And all the way over here to do a debt-free scream.
That's right. That's my purpose for being here.
I love it. How much have you paid off?
I paid off $290,000 total, including my house.
Wow! Whoa. Look at you! Oh, I love it. You're so weird.
$290,000?
$290,000.
How long did this take?
10.5 years.
Whoa!
Long-time fan.
And your range of income during that time?
I started at $70,000, went up to $90,000, and sometimes $100,000.
Wow. What do you do for a living?
I'm a dental hygienist.
Wow.
I started fresh out of my career.
Wow. And just got after it. How much of the $290,000 was the house?
Well, I was a few years into my career. $200,000 was the house, and $90,000 was college debt, car debt, credit cards, and personal loans that I borrowed for my divorce.
Girl, you're a superhero.
Thanks.
This
crazy.
Is pretty amazing.
Thank you.
10.5 years.
I'm looking, as you're saying these things out loud, it like your body is, you haven't taken a breath in 10 years.
No, I haven't. My family hasn't seen me rest, and I haven't taken a breath, and I've been this go person for that long.
I can feel your body being like, and we're done right here on the debt-free stage.
This is like a nice end of that chapter, that long journey I've been on.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what happened 10 years ago?
There was a local church offering Dave Ramsey classes. It was 12 weeks at that time, I believe. And my friend asked me to join. He was leading the group, and I said I didn't need it. And he said, well, you have debt, don't you? And I said, yeah, but I can pay all my monthly bills. And he said, I think you join the class. And I refused a couple times, and then I finally decided to do it, to be a friend and curious to see what it was about. Completely transformed my life from that point.
Oh, my gosh.
And his name is Joel Rivera. Hi, Joel.
Way to go, Joel.
Way to go, Joel.
I love it. Very cool. That's amazing. So you went through Financial Peace University and you went game on. You began the process. How were you able to stick with it for 10 and a half years?
You know what, I followed it exactly like you said. I went through each step, the baby step one, emergency fund, paying off everything, smallest to largest debts. I know people, like you say, want to do interest, higher interest first. No, smallest to largest. Those little rewards along the way just kept me going. And I had timelines and I had goals, and I could just like envision, like, what would it be like? Like, could I really do this? It was almost unreal. And I just kept, the closer I got, I kept thinking, I think I can do this. And my son was a big supporter. My parents were my big cheerleaders. They're my rock. My son is 23 now, so he grew up with a budget and $3.99 pizza nights, take and bake. And we did a lot of pack your own lunch and bring your own lawn chair, go to the farmer's market, and that was our free Friday night. We just were very creative, and we had a lot of fun. Went on hikes, and we did, it was a good life, even though we were on a budget. It was tough, but it was very rewarding.
Way to go.
Thanks.
That's incredible.
And I picked up extra jobs. I was working Saturdays. I was working 6 days a week for over 10 years. And occasionally I was working on Sundays. There was surprisingly an office that had scheduled some Sunday patients, and I just did whatever I could do to just keep making more money. They needed me to work an extra hour or two of overtime. Sure. I did it.
And you just push through. What's this house worth?
It's worth $270,000.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a townhome, and I love it. Yeah,
and it's all yours.
It's all mine. No matter what happens, no one can take my house away. No one can take my car away. If something happens to me, those are there to stay. It's a secure feeling. I can't even like grasp it.
That's so good. That's so good. How much have you built up in your retirement accounts?
So my retirement account is $200,000. And then I have a Roth IRA that I need to start putting into aside from that. And then the house. Yeah, and then I got my fully funded emergency fund.
Yeah. You're going to be a millionaire in 20 minutes, girl.
Yay.
You are on your way.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Wow. You are special. This is so cool.
So there's lots of parents that I talk to that lament the fact that they don't have enough money for all these fancy, shiny gadgets and toys, whatever. You raised kids by going on hikes and going to play and spending time together. What's your relationship like to with your kids?
I have one son, and we have a very close relationship. We've had a very close relationship throughout the years, probably when we were growing up unusually close and more distant now that he's older and has his own life. But he was my vacation buddy. We did take some vacations, some cash vacations, of course, bring our own lunches, budget it out. I mean, it was budgeted. Yeah. His famous question growing up was, "Mom, is it in the budget? Is this in the budget?" And so he's grown up to be like my buddy. And
so you can live and you can raise kids and they'll still like you.
Yeah, you can. And to be able to like say, like if we need something, we need tires for the car or an emergency happens. I had a water leak a couple years ago, and to be able to just like take care of that is just like, I can't believe it. Like I'm still in shock. Like, oh, I can just pay for that and take care of those emergencies without stressing, without putting it on a card.
It's what being
and if he needs something, I can provide, within reasonable requests, of course.
Wow.
Thanks.
Very important. Very important. Yeah, I mean, you have reaped all the benefits of all the hard work, and you have worked really hard at this.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thank you. I listen to your show all the time. I have people in my life that were going through it too are motivating me, and I motivated them in return. Sylvia and Joe are listening. I mentored them. They're listening. There's just friends. My friend Kim has been my cheerleader. My boyfriend Shannon is listening. He's supporting me through this, and it's just been unreal.
Great job. Great job. All right, what do you tell people the key to getting out of debt is?
Cash envelopes for sure. I have to remember my notes. I'm so nervous. Cash envelopes. I just saying, finding ways to reduce your monthly outgoing income. I went through everything. I reduced my cable bill. I reduced my phone bill. I eliminated a bunch of things that I didn't need, and I kept it real simple. And just finding creative ways to have fun without buying stuff and take care of your stuff so they last a long time. You don't have to buy a bunch of stuff every few years.
Maintenance is a good idea.
Yes.
Occasionally I get that email that says, remind people to do maintenance on their cars. It's a good thing. I like that. Good for you. Well done, Erica. Well, we got a copy of the Baby Steps Millionaires book. Comes out January the 11th, but we're going to give you an early edition copy just to congratulate you, because we think you're going to be a Baby Steps millionaire in no time. It's the next chapter for your story after your debt-free scream. And a copy of the Total Money Makeover for you to give away somebody, get them started on their journey.
Yes.
You never know that 10 and a half years later, they may have their house and everything paid off.
Yes.
You're a superhero, girl.
Thank you so much for your support.
Amazing.
Thank you for what you do. Thank you.
Powerful. Very, very well done. Erica, Fresno, California area, $290,000 paid off. House and everything. Woo. Did it in 10 and a half years. Did it making 70 to 90 to 100. Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. I'm a single mom. If I can do it, you can too. I'm debt-free.
The cheer.
So in grad school, Dave, there's always one student in every class, the curve buster.
Yeah.
That everyone's like, this test was so hard and we should be able to. And there's always that one student that just got 100 or 95 and just took all of our excuses away.
Yeah, she just took all your excuses away.
Everybody.
No excuses after that.
I'm in California. I could never pay off a house. Wrong. I'm a single mom. I could never. Wrong. I've got kids. I could never. I'm looking at it right
I'm afraid my children will be damaged if I work. Wrong.
I can't do 6 days a week. I can't do 7 days a week. Yes, you can. I'm looking at it right there. Congratulations. Incredible.
Well done and well adjusted. This is the Ramsey Show. Scripture of the day, Romans 8:31. What then shall we say in response to these things? If God is for us, who can be against us? Winston Churchill said, success consists of going from failure to failure without loss of enthusiasm. I have been doing that a long time.
That makes me feel good about my life. Thanks, Winston.
Randy's with us in Louisiana. Hi, Randy. How are you?
Hey, Dave. Hi, Dr. John. How y'all doing?
Great, man. What's up?
So I have a question pertaining to Baby Step 4. That's where I'm currently on. I am putting money into my newly opened Roth IRA, and I'm wondering, should I be doing that in particular, or should I be putting money aside to put down a down payment for a home? I'm currently in college. I'm on my last year, and I'm wondering which route should I go.
I would just pile up cash. I wouldn't be doing retirement until you graduate.
Okay, gotcha.
And then you can use that cash for whatever you need to after you transition into your your career-based job in whatever city you end up in and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, you got plenty of time. You got plenty of time to do investing and to buy a house. I wouldn't do either of those today. But if you have a big pile of cash and you get out and you get moved and you get settled into an apartment and you get your new job and the checks start coming in, then you go, okay, I kind of want to think about buying a house. And then you start saying, I'm going to move some of that cash over into the house fund, or I want to get my Roth IRA started, so I'm going to move some of it over into the Roth IRA fund. Either one of those is fine. Are you dating someone serious?
Yes, I am. We're not that far into a relationship. We're doing extremely well, but I'm just trying to reach my own goals, pursue my own financial dreams.
Well, I'll just tell you, advice from an old man that hasn't got anything to do with money. If you buy a house and then a year later get married, you will discover you bought the wrong house.
Okay.
Because she wasn't in on the selection of it. So my point being, it's okay to rent if you're in a serious relationship and coming out of school. If you rent an apartment for a year, you're dating, you get engaged, you get married, then we buy, and all during that time you're piling up cash to make the buy, you haven't lost any ground.
None.
You're going to be just fine. There's no law that says you're going to hell if you don't buy a house by the time you're 23. Or something like that. So give yourself a little wiggle room. Jay is in Battle Creek, Michigan. Hi, Jay. How are you?
Hey, how you guys doing?
Better than I deserve. How can we help?
Hey, Dave. So, real quick, I just want to say that my wife and I found you when our parish priest was giving us wedding counseling. He set us up with a total money makeover, and since then, we have paid off $30,000 in debt, built up a fully funded emergency fund, and we bought a house with 20% down, $8,000 under asking using an ELP. I want to start off by saying that. So thank you.
Wow, thank you.
Way to go, brother.
You game on. How can we help today?
My question is, with the new house, my mother-in-law wants to buy us a lot of gifts for Christmas. My wife and I know this, that she has no control over her finances. She has multiple credit cards, a car loan, and she doesn't even have her own place. We love her. We love her so much. But we just don't know how we can tell her no to the gifts that she's expecting to buy us. I've even offered to give her, I told my wife I can give her the total money makeover, set her up with Ramsey Plus, with Financial Peace. But I just don't, how do we tell her no to the gift? I just feel bad doing that to her since we just got out of debt.
How long have you been married?
We've been married now for just over a year.
Is your mother-in-law single?
Yes, she is living with her mom, so my wife's grandma.
Okay. All right.
Here's I want to applaud your spirit, and I want to applaud. You've had a string of some pretty remarkable success financially, and man, like anybody whose life has been changed by something positive, you want to run out on the street and tell everybody, and especially those that you love. The hard reality that you're picking up now is you can't control what she does. And there's few things in life harder than watching people you love make decisions that are going to hurt them. If you wanted to, you could set up a boundary and say, hey, this year we don't want gifts. We want to do this. But Dave, you're a grandparent. I'm not. That may be more harmful. That may communicate a different message to her than you intend to. You can give her that gift, the total money makeover, something like that. But the idea that a young guy who's marrying her daughter, who's just come into her life a year ago, is going to give her this, is going to come be her savior. Man, I want to relieve you of that, brother. That's not your job. Your job's to love her the best you can.
And by the way, you're not going to be very good at that job.
Yeah. Or here's the thing, love her the best you can?
No, I'm talking about the job of fixing her life.
Yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, love her daughter well. How about that?
Yeah, so the second thing is this. How's the relationship between your daughter and her mom? Your wife and her mom?
It's very good.
Okay.
It's very good.
Then you don't need to say boo. You don't need to say a single syllable. Not your mother. She needs to talk to her mom. And it would, at most, nothing is okay. Saying nothing's okay. But saying at most, hey, Mom, we're really enjoying debt-free, and we've worked really hard to get out of that, and I know you're struggling, and I appreciate your generous spirit so much. You're such an amazing mom. But I got to tell you, it makes us feel very, very weird that you're borrowing money to give us gifts when we've worked so hard to get out of that. And we wish she would dial it back and not borrow any money to bless us. But you can do what you want to do, and we're going to love you either way. But it just makes us feel weird, and I just wanted you to know that, because it takes a little of the joy off of it, because we know it's bringing harm to you.
And that's a mother-daughter conversation. That's not one-year son-in-law coming in and being like,
nope.
well, hey, lady, you know, you get what we're saying,
You're
Jay?
not even in the room when this happens. And it's not by text, and it's not by phone. It's in person if at all possible.
Absolutely.
And it's one time and then drop it and move on.
I love your heart, but...
Yeah, you cannot fix her. She's not within your control. Yeah. And it's one of the things John and I say around here all the time. One of the most painful parts of adulthood is watching people we love do stupid things.
Yeah.
And we can't keep them from doing it.
Yeah.
Whether it's super destructive things like addictions or abuse or whatever, all the way to simply buying Christmas gifts on a credit card that you wish you didn't do.
And I know the irony of this is that this is an advice show, and that's what advice pays my bills. But in the real world, in relationships, and people's, we're going to go to Christmas parties this year. We're going to hang out with our in-laws this year. Man, I've burned people over the course of my life trying to throw advice into situations where it wasn't asked. And so I want to be invited in anymore. That's it.
I have a rule. I do not give my opinion until you ask me.
Yes, invite me in.
And if you ask me, I'm obligated.
Going full Dave.
You asked.
That's right.
That's really true on the show. I mean, you guys call and ask,
call us.
and
Right.
So we're going to tell you.
Yeah.
But I don't drive up beside some guy at the stoplight and go, "Hey, looks like you got a lot of payments."
Stupid car
what are
color.
You fool,
idiot.
You
Yeah.
moron.
Exactly. So I
have thought that.
People, of course you have. Of course you have. And you say it, you just have your windows up. But the number of times I've gone to someone and said, "Well, hey, wow."
Yeah, the only time I'm going to intersect,
I'm
going to intersect into someone's life uninvited is if I think they're in danger.
That's exactly right.
Or a child's in danger.
Yep.
And then I'll put most of you in jail in that case.
Yes.
So, yeah, you don't want me around in that situation.
That's exactly right. If someone's going to hurt themselves, I will call everybody.
You start talking to me about suicide, 911.
Yep. Yeah, I don't play with those.
I am not playing with this.
But other than that, I'm going to wait to be invited in. And so here's a great thing, Jay, this last caller. If he lives his life of
she's going to want to know. She's going to want to know.
Yeah, of no payments.
Maybe, but I'll be honest, hardly any of our relatives do our stuff, okay? Let's just, full disclosure.
That's right.
All right? A couple of them do, but most of them just think, wow, they did kind of good over there at the Ramsey Blue. They're like, what?
Exactly.
Yeah, oh, well, that's the way it is, So, Dave, we know you don't like credit cards, but, whatever.
You got this new co-host, John Baloney, with you.
Merry Christmas. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace.
Hey, it's Kelly,
Christ
associate
Jesus.
producer and phone screener for The Ramsey Show. If you would like to do your debt-free scream live on the show, make sure you visit theramseyshow.com and register. We would love for you to come to Nashville and tell Dave your story.